Hi, I'm Adam Vergara, and you're watching Tennis Ninja TV.
Aloha guys, my name is Shane Cashin and welcome back to Tennis Ninja TV. There's always been questions and there's always been looking for guidance in terms of how to really get started in tennis. So I'm here today to hopefully give you guys a hand with that. I'm about to give you guys 10 tips on how to proceed as a beginner in the sport of tennis. Tip number 1 from the Tennis Ninja is know your why. Why are you playing tennis? This is a big foundational step in terms of picking the racket up for the first time, because it's like a New Year's resolution in January, right? Where you come up with a goal, you want to achieve that thing throughout the year, or you want to pick up a new habit, you want to exercise, you want to save up and buy that car. Whatever it is, guys, you have a mission and you want to stick to it. One of the goals, guys, that people set for themselves with tennis is to get in better shape. Tennis is one of the best cardio sports there is because it gets your heartbeat running and you're not taking very many breaks. So you're gonna be moving around almost all the time. Another reason, guys, is tennis is something new to a lot of people. Tennis is not the biggest sport in the United States as well as in Hawaii to a degree, but in other countries around the world, tennis is huge and actually is one of the only sports that you can even play. Tennis is something foreign and something unknown to a lot of people. So when people pick up the racket for the first time, it's special. It's a different kind of experience than they'd normally have had before with the sports they've grown up with. Tip number 2, guys, from the Tennis Ninja is choosing the right racket. Guys, this is huge in terms of starting the sport because the tennis racket is the biggest tool that you will need every time you hit the court, and you kind of need it in order to play the sport anyway. There are a boatload of rackets for kids to choose from these days, including this one. This is a 21-inch racket. Really good for kids that are 5 to 8 years old. This is a 23-inch racket, guys, meant for a little bit older kids who are mostly playing in the orange ball in ages 9 through 10. Next up is a 25-inch racket. This is for 11 and up. These kids are usually a little bit older who use these rackets, are a little bit on the taller side. Here is a 26-inch racket. Again, much bigger than the original 21 that you saw earlier. When you start developing in the game and you're much taller, you're much stronger, and you're able to swing a heavier racket, this is the kind of racket you want to upgrade because it's going to help your strokes develop. And last but not least, guys, is the full-size 27-inch racket. They make a difference in terms of kids developing, guys, because kids are still young and they're still developing their muscle memory, their muscles, as well as their stroke technique. There is a lot that comes to this sport when you're learning for the first time, so the right racket you choose, for kids especially, makes a huge difference. For adults, you can use really any kind of full-size 27-inch racket you want. The main thing, guys, you want to consider is weight and head size. Can you see the words inside the neck of this racket, guys? Those are the specs of the racket. This is the important thing to consider if you're choosing a racket for the first time. Most beginner level tennis players who are adults are recommended to use rackets that are 10.2 ounces or less, as well as head sizes that are 100 square inches or bigger. Third tip, guys, from the Tennis Ninja is wear the appropriate pair of shoes to the tennis court. These are not tennis shoes, guys. They are sneakers. They are nice shoes, but they are not tennis shoes. These are tennis shoes. Guys, these are the T22s from Prince. I use these shoes all the time. You can tell that these shoes are built for tennis because of the way that they're actually built up around the shoe. There's materials in certain areas of the shoe, mainly around the toe. You can see how there's a little section right here that's kind of built up with rubber, so you can drag your toe on the ground and the shoe won't get torn up. The sides of the tennis shoes are also built up a little bit more on the edges. You can kind of see right here. The shoes are bulked up in that section because you're going to be running left and right almost all day long chasing balls down. So you need that extra support to be able to stop, change your direction, and launch the other way as quick as you can, and be able to do that for at least a good hour or so. Bottom line, guys, is choosing the right tennis shoes is an important question to consider, because if you actually wear your regular shoes on the court, your shoes will actually get destroyed. The majority of tennis courts in Hawaii as well as in the United States are considered hard court. What that means is it's basically like a very fine layer of asphalt, and if you move your regular sneakers on that all day long running back and forth, you're going to wear a hole through your shoes really quickly. Tip number 4, guys, from the Tennis Ninja is choosing the correct tennis ball to hit with. Guys, there's actually different types of tennis balls. I know I sound nuts when I say that, but Different tennis balls are meant for different situations, especially when it comes to the development of players. Kids, guys, if you're looking at taking lessons in the future, your age as well as your height, your strength, your current skill level in terms of hand-eye coordination, they actually determine what ball that you're in. Level 1, guys, and where you start out is this ball right here. This is the red ball. It is the biggest in terms of size compared to the other tennis balls, and it's actually the most cushiony. Tennis balls, guys, have different air compressions in them, and the air compression level kind of differentiates from ball to ball. The red ball, guys, is the softest one. There's the least amount of air compression in there. What it does is creates less resistance for the person who's hitting the ball, as well as it keeps the ball from going all over the place when you're first learning the game. This ball, guys, is mostly for 5 to 8-year-olds, just like that 21-inch racket I mentioned about earlier. This is level 2, guys, in terms of tennis ball progression. This is the orange ball. And this ball goes alongside the 23-inch as well as the 25-inch rackets I was showing you earlier. And there's also an air compression difference. The orange ball is slightly more dense feeling than the red ball, which means the orange ball is going to bounce a little bit higher and give you a little more resistance. Kids, this is a good ball to move up to if you are 9 through 10 years old, or if you're young enough but advanced enough to swing a racket that can hit that orange ball cleanly, as well as be able to play on the 60-foot court, which there is a difference between the red ball and the orange ball as well. Red ball uses the 36-foot court and orange ball uses the 60-foot court. This is ball number 3, guys, on the scale. This is the green dot ball, or the green ball. Basically, this is the ball that's second to last before the regular tennis ball. This tennis ball, guys, has a lot of resistance compared to the red ball and the orange ball. This ball is recommended for ages 11 and up, but again, like I've been saying, if you're a strong enough junior player and you're building your skills up real fast, then this ball, guys, is the ball that you should be on, because you will move up to the full-size 78-foot tennis court, which is the real deal. What I recommend is that if you are strong enough and you are able to play with the next ball up above your age, you should. And last but not least, guys, is this bad boy, the yellow ball. This is the real and regular tennis ball. Kids, after you moved up through all the different balls, you will eventually reach this ball, as well as the full-size tennis court. This ball has the most resistance and the most air pressure in terms of all the tennis balls you saw earlier. I really recommend, guys, if you are hitting on this ball, you need a 26-inch racket or bigger or heavier to be able to hit this ball back, because of the resistance this ball gives you from the baseline when you're actually hitting ground stroke. If you're an adult player, this is the easiest to buy. You can find these balls almost anywhere, like Long's, Walmart, Target, or you can get them by boxes at places like the pro shops in the island. Where do you go when you want to buy all this gear or get your equipment to get ready to hit the court? Guys, you can visit a local pro tennis shop near you in Hawaii, guys. The shops I always recommend are myself, Tennis Ninja, as well as Cross Court Hawaii, Waipawa Racket Shop, Pro Kite Tennis Shop, McCully Bike, as well as any of the other pro tennis shops at the local clubs on the other islands in Hawaii. And I recommend, guys, you check them out, because it's like a kid in a candy store if you're looking at tennis equipment for the first time, or you're a competitive player looking for your next upgrade. Tip number 5, guys, from the Tennis Ninja is set a goal in terms of the tennis you want to play. This is going to kind of tag along with the original why do you play tennis reason, but there's a difference, because this is something you're going to work up towards that's going to actually aim your tennis career or your journey towards whatever destination you want to reach. Some goals, guys, that people set for themselves in tennis is they want to become a competitive tennis player. They want to play in tournaments, leagues. They want to get their juices flowing, and they want to find a source to feed that. Some goals, guys, people set for themselves in terms of tennis is they want to meet new people. Guys, when you enter tournaments or leagues or any competitive venues with tennis, you're going to see a lot of new people for the first time. They're going to share the same passion as you. And just like Kathy Nikoloff mentioned in one of the interviews I did in the past on Tennis Ninja TV, this is an important thing to take into consideration. Tip number 6, guys, is invest in some tennis lessons. Guys, when you first begin the game, it is my recommendation that you go out there and you learn how to actually hit the ball correctly, because it's going to be able to help you play for a long period of time and be able to advance you up in the game quickly, which is going to feed your vibes to be able to keep going to the court every day. Tennis lessons is also a good chance, guys, for you to go meet a coach in your community and establish a relationship and rapport. Tennis coaches, guys, are not only going to get your game better, that's why they're actually going to point you to spots and venues and events that you can play in order to test out the skills that you're actually learning. And another reason, guys, people take tennis lessons is to prevent injury. When you're learning new technique, guys, and be able to hit the ball correctly, you're actually reducing the amount of chances you get hurt when you're actually swinging at the tennis ball. I have seen players in the past go and swing and play like crazy, which is good at the beginning. However, the longer you play and if you keep playing often, one of the common injuries in tennis is right here. It's called tennis elbow. And what happens, guys, is you overwork your arm when you're hitting the ball and you use too much arm, or you're just using the wrong equipment. Tip number 7, guys, is find a tennis crew to play with. Find your tennis ohana. What I mean by that, guys, is every good tennis player has a group of friends or a friend or two they go out to the court every week with, and they hit tennis balls together. Guys, you're not only fellowshipping, but you're actually finding motivation with one another to be able to go hit some tennis balls and continue your tennis journeys, not alone, but with someone along your side. This is one of the biggest reasons tennis players today, regardless of their background, still keep playing, is they have a group of friends, guys, that can help them continue to feed their passions with the game, as well as kick back and relax and enjoy themselves on a weekend, as well as maybe even help them out get ready for a tournament or a venue competitively in mind. You can meet these people that are part of your future tennis crew in events that you enter, lessons you take with a coach, or just walk into the court and seeing maybe a beginner like you on a far court down the road at the park, and maybe you want to go out there and hit some tennis balls. 8th tip from the Tennis Ninja is join a tennis league. Guys, the United States Tennis Association, or USTA, runs pretty much monthly different types of leagues that are offered to adult players as well as kids. For kids, there is something called junior team tennis, and I highly recommend that, guys. Junior team tennis, or JTT, guys, is a great way for kids to be able to form a team of kids just like them at their level and their age and go out and compete and enjoy the game for the first time competitively. Adult leagues, guys, there are plenty of them, but you do kind of know who's who in the tennis world in order to find the right league that's competent for your level and your age. Find a tennis coach in your community or a league coordinator from the USTA and discover what level you can play at that can feed your competition passion, as well as motivate maybe what goes on in the tennis lessons during the week. Tip number 9, guys, from the Tennis Ninja is go join a tennis tournament. Go enter and find out how good you really are as a player. Guys, for beginners, I recommend you do spend some time taking lessons as well as playing a lot in order to build yourself up for this kind of competition. Tournaments, guys, even though I've been mentioning it a lot earlier, is where the best of the best tennis players in your level and age are all competing at the same platform. The difference is with a tournament is that if you win a match, you keep playing in the tournament. If you lose a match, you're pretty much out of the tournament. Leagues, guys, you are guaranteed to play almost every single weekend, and that's more about playing experience and hanging out for fun, versus a tournament is where you get to really feel pressure playing the game and being able to experience almost as close to what the pros feel on TV. You can find these tournaments to enter, guys, if you really feel gung-ho and wanting to get out there and compete, through me at KalNuiFoundation.org, as well as the United States Tennis Association. We're running tournaments, guys, for tennis players of all levels and ages, pretty much almost on a monthly basis. So, guys, I recommend if you feel ready to go and you want to compete, go out and try a tournament. And my final tip, guys, tip number 10 for the day, is go watch tennis. Guys, when you enter these tournaments or you play in these leagues, don't just show up to play and go home. Go and watch a player that you find fascinating out there and study how they play, as well as just kick back and relax and enjoy the game from a different perspective. You don't always have to be the player out there. Also, I recommend you go watch a professional tennis tournament if you get a chance to see one in the state of Hawaii or wherever you're at. An example, guys, of watching a tennis tournament is this one right here that was held in March. This was the Davis Cup, which is a pro tennis tournament and really a year-long circuit of matches where the best players of each country compete against each other for a chance at the Davis Cup. There's also multiple tournaments that happen each year in Hawaii that you guys can check out, such as the Men's Night Doubles at Kyler Racquet Club, which is one a lot of the interview guests I've had in the past have talked about. I highly recommend parents out there, take your kids to tennis tournaments. Guys, it's going to give them a chance to be able to see what they can grow and become one day in the future if they keep playing the sport. It's going to give them something to shoot for and direction, which is only going to help them achieve things that they've never achieved before in the sport, and hopefully be able to do things like play for their high school one day, maybe even earn a scholarship, play college tennis. Dare I even say the pros. Again, we can't roll that out. That is an option. Guys, that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a like, comment, subscribe down below to support Tennis Ninja. I really appreciate you watching today. I hope you guys learned something and were informed as well. And I hope to see you beginners on the court, because this is the time to do it. And it's called the lifetime sport for a reason. Guys, God bless, be safe, and aloha.